degree things. What is tort? What is tort law? A tort is an act or omission that gives rise to the injury or harm to another person that amounts to a civil wrong for which courts impose liability. In the context of torts, injury describes the invasion of any legal right, whereas harm describes a loss or detriment that an individual suffers. Overview. The primary aims of tort law are to provide relief to the injured parties for harms caused by others, to impose liability on parties responsible for the harm, and to deter others from committing harmful acts. Torts can shift the burden of loss from the injured party to the party who is at fault or better suited for the bear a burden to loss. Typically, a party seeking redress through tort law will ask for damages in the form of monetary compensation. Less common remedies include injunction and restitution. The boundaries of tort law are defined by common law and statutory laws. Judges in interpreting the language of statutes have wide latitude in determining which actions qualify as legally cognizable wrongs, which defenses may override in any given claim, and the appropriate measures of damages. Although tort law varies state by state, many courts utilize the Restatement of Torts as an influential guide. Torts fall into three categories: intentional torts, intentionally hitting a person; negligent torts, causing an accident by failing to obey traffic rules; and strict liability torts, liability for selling defective products. Intentional torts are wrongs that have been defendant knew or should have known that would result throughout their actions or omissions. Negligent torts occur when the defendant's actions were unreasonably unsafe. Unlike intentional and negligent torts, strict liability torts do not depend on the degree of care that the defendant used. Rather, in strict liability cases, the courts focus on whether the particular result, harm, or manifested. There are numerous specific torts including trespass, assault, battery, negligence, product liability, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Are also separate areas of torts including nuisance, defamation, invasion of privacy, and category of economic torts. Remedies. The law recognizes torts as civil wrongs and allows injury parties to recover for their losses. Injury parties may bring suit to recover damages for the former monetary compensation or for injunction, which compels a party to cease an activity. In certain cases, courts will award punitive damages in addition to compensatory damages or deter further misconduct. In the vast majority of tort cases, the court will award compensatory damages to an injured party that has successfully proven their case. Compensatory damages are typically equal to the monetary value of the injured party's lost earnings, loss of earnings, loss of future earning capacity, and pain and suffering, and reasonable medical expenses. Thus, courts may award damages for incurred as well as expected losses. When the court has interest in deterring future misconduct, a court may award punitive damages in addition to compensatory damages. For example, in a case against a manufacturer or a defective manufactured product, a court may award punitive damages to compel the manufacturer to ensure more careful production going forward. In some cases, injured parties may bring suit to obtain an injunction rather than a monetary relief. The party seeking an injunction typically must prove that it must suffer considerable or irreparable harm without the court's intervention. Distinguishing torts. What are the torts? Are they distinguishing from crimes, which are wrongs against the state or society at large. The main purpose of criminal liability is to enforce public justice. In contrast, tort laws address private wrongs and has a central purpose of compensating the victim rather than punishing the wrongdoer. Some acts may provide the basis for tort and criminal liability. For example, gross negligence that endangers the lives of others simultaneously be a tort as a crime. Some actions are punishable under both criminal law and tort law, such as battery, In that case, ideally, tort law would provide monetary remedy for the plaintiff, while the criminal law would provide rehabilitation for the defendant, while also providing a benefit to society by reforming the defendant who committed the assault. Tort law is also distinguished in contract law. Although a party may have a strong breach of contract on a case under contract law, a breach of contract is not typically considered a tortious act. Incomplete list of torts and their prima facie. You got the defendant and the plaintiff. You got trespass. You got the battery. You got the assault, false imprisonment, intentional infliction with emotional and distress. You got your acts. Your conduct is outrageous acts for the purpose of causing the victim emotional stress so severe that it would be expected to adversely affect mental health. Yep. And conduct causes such as distress. Negligence per se, res vista, negligence, and private nuisance, public nuisance, products liability, and inducement of contract.